The tense atmosphere filled the room as Yin and her father were currently having a serious discussion. Dad, I've said multiple times that I want to pursue a law degree. No, you should study business management because you'll continue our family business. The company I've built from scratch, where will it go if not to you? But I want to choose my path. I want to study law, Dad. No, your future is more secure if you study business. But I don't want to do business. Then who should I pass on my company to? Why do you not care about our family business at all? Are you that indifferent? It's not that I don't care, but you're too ambitious. I don't understand anymore. Why is it so hard to work together with my daughter? Hearing her father's words slightly pierced her heart and she finally relented, feeling a bit guilty. Fine, I'll study business and continue the business you've built. Her father, who was initially gloomy, now had a radiant expression. He was thrilled that his only daughter finally agreed to follow his wishes. All right, for the sake of seeing you happy, Dad, I'll do anything. You're the only one I have left after Mom passed away, so I don't want to see you sad. Yin reflected on her bed, staring at the ceiling of her bedroom. It seemed like she had to bury her dream of becoming a prosecutor. In order to continue her father's business, it seemed like she would have to study business. 2 years later, her classmates were excited about the new professor, who was rumored to be very handsome. Hey, did you guys know there's a new professor who just moved here? Yeah, I heard. Many are excited because he's so handsome. But from what I heard, he won't be teaching in our cohort. He'll only teach at the senior level. That means we'll only meet him next year. What a pity. I was hoping he would teach in our class, but it seems we have to wait for another year to be taught by him. You guys, getting excited over a handsome guy? That's the excitement that happened this morning. Everyone was enthusiastic about the young handsome new professor, but Yin wasn't interested in knowing more. Until one day. Today, Yin was in a hurry to get out of her car. She was already late for class. She walked and ran quickly, not realizing someone was passing by nearby, until finally, she accidentally bumped into the person, causing the papers held by the man to scatter on the ground. Yin was startled and she immediately looked at the person and realized that he must be a professor here because he was wearing a suit like most professors do. Yin bowed and apologized, feeling guilty for bumping into the professor. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't see you here earlier. She saw the professor nod with his usual calm demeanor and he finally started picking up the papers that had fallen from his hands. Feeling sorry, Yin began to help tidy up the scattered papers until she noticed on the paper the name of the professor was Jungkook. After finishing tidying up the papers, she handed them back to him. At that moment, Yin looked at the man's face and her heart started beating fast. Is this the handsome professor they were all talking about? Turns out he really is handsome. Sir, here are your papers. I sincerely apologize. I truly didn't mean to. It's alright. Just be more careful next time when walking. Without saying much more, Jungkook finally left Yin standing there, still staring at him as he walked away. He must be the one my friends were talking about. Turns out he really is incredibly handsome. Finally, Yin entered her campus building. The atmosphere in their home became intense again. Yin and her father were having a serious argument. This time it was about a significant issue. All this time I've tried to comply with all your wishes, Dad. Why do you have to choose my future husband as well? Do you think I'm incapable of choosing my own future spouse? My dear daughter, I didn't mean it that way. Believe me, this man is very suitable for you. I know him well, even his family, and we will collaborate on a big business project. Oh, I understand now. Basically, I and his son are being set up for marriage because of your business interests, right? Sweetie, this is for your future as well, sweetie. Fine, just do whatever you want. You don't need my approval anymore, because whether I agree or not, you won't care. This is my last request. After you marry him and become his wife, I won't force you anymore to make any decisions. I promise not to interfere in your household affairs, and I promise not to disturb your decisions and choices. This is truly my last request. Why do you speak like that? As if you're going to die. Not like that, but I promise not to pressure you anymore after you marry him. This is really my last request, sweetie. So, I beg you to accept it. It's up to you. I can't think anymore. Finally, Yin stood up from her seat and left her father alone. It was Sunday, and as agreed, Yin and her father would visit a restaurant where she would meet her prospective husband. Yin dressed up quite nicely today, but this was actually her true appearance. She held her father's hand as they entered the restaurant until they reached a table. Her eyes widened instantly upon seeing the man sitting there. Next to him was a middle-aged man about her father's age. Yin's suspicion was correct. Her father was leading her to approach them, until finally, Yin, let me introduce you. This is my friend and this is his son, your prospective husband. Jungkook, who was now in front of her, appeared calm as if he wasn't surprised at all. What is this? Why was she the only one surprised? That was the question in her mind. However, in reality, Jungkook was quite surprised to see the girl in front of him was the careless student he had encountered before. Yin and her father sat down, and both fathers seemed very familiar, engaging in various interesting conversations, while their children sat silently, occasionally stealing glances at each other. Shortly after, the waiters began serving food for them, and they finally started eating together. So, what about our plan? Are you both in agreement? Can we talk for a moment? Their fathers chuckled softly upon hearing the same words coming from both of them at the same time. I guess you two are truly meant for each other. Yes, I'm more convinced now that arranging your marriage was the right decision. But, alright, it seems you both need some time to discuss. Yes, please take your time. Jungkook and Yin finally stood up, bowing before they decided to leave. Now they were outside, enjoying the fresh air until Jungkook took the initiative to start a conversation. Are you willing to accept me as your husband? Honestly, I'm confused. What should I call you? Should I address you as sir for now? Jungkook, hearing that from Yin, finally chuckled softly. He didn't expect his prospective wife to be quite adorable. Meanwhile, Yin, seeing Jungkook chuckling softly like that, was astonished. It was very different from his demeanor when they met in the campus parking lot. Back then, Jungkook seemed very cold and stiff. Just call me Jungkook. This isn't the campus area. Besides, we're not dealing with student-professor matters right now, but as future husband and wife. Hearing what he said, her face immediately blushed. Why did Jungkook say that? Did he actually agree to this arranged marriage? Do you agree to this arranged marriage? Yes, I agree. What made you agree? My father has never asked me for anything all this time, so when he asked me this once, I will do it. Wow, so you've always been given freedom by your father. Your life must be enjoyable. Why do you say that? Has your life always been controlled? I could say that because my father promised. This is the last request. After this, he won't control my life anymore and I'll be free to choose my path. My life has been filled with his control all this time. So, do we both agree to this arranged marriage? It seems so, but I'm curious. Why did you choose to become a professor at the university when your family background is in business? Because I enjoy learning. Dealing with smart students is quite fascinating. Discussing business knowledge, I find it enjoyable. You truly have freedom. Actually, I didn't want to choose this major. So, what major did you want to choose before? I wanted to choose law, but my father forced me to choose a business because he hoped I would continue his position in the company. Actually, I think that makes sense. Your father must have high hopes for you. Yes, that was also my consideration. That's why I finally gave in and followed his wishes. But it seems like you don't teach at our level. Yes, I only teach at the final level. So next year, we'll meet in class, and I'll be a professor in front of my own wife. Yin, upon hearing that, blushed instantly, but they both ended up chuckling softly. But what do you think about our relationship? Isn't it problematic if it's exposed? I'm sure it will be a problem because professors and students aren't allowed to have relationships. It would be a scandal. That's what I want to discuss with you. What do you think? If we keep it a secret, would you mind? Because that seems to be the only option, in my opinion. It's okay. I also think that's the only option. And when we get married later, it seems like I won't invite my friends. So you already know we're getting married in a month? Yes, my father mentioned it earlier. Alright then. So we agreed to keep our relationship secret on campus. Yes. 1 month later, Jungkook and Yin's wedding was held at a fairly luxurious hotel. Although Yin didn't invite her friends, it couldn't be denied that their wedding was attended by many guests due to the numerous business relations invited by both of their fathers. The wedding party is over. Jungkook and Yin are now in their hotel room to rest. They've both showered and are getting ready for bed, or so Yin thought. However, Jungkook, lying beside her, starts to draw closer. His hand slowly wraps around her waist. Why are you getting ready for bed? Do you think we won't be doing anything tonight? Actually, I'm not ready to conceive yet. I understand, and I won't make you pregnant. At least not until you finish college or feel ready for it. His hand, now on her waist, starts to move slowly upwards, giving seductive massages on her upper body. Are you sure I won't get pregnant? I don't want us to make a mistake. I'm sure. I know how to prevent it. His hand becomes more active, and Yin starts to enjoy her husband's touch. You seem very confident. It's like you're experienced. No, this is my first time. Jungkook now starts to kiss her cheeks. First time? Are you sure? But you seem very confident. Every man understands this instinctively. He becomes bolder, lying on top of her, and kisses her lips intensely. Yin starts to respond to her husband's kiss. Finally, that night becomes a long one for both of them. 1 year later, they're having breakfast together before Yin and Jungkook prepare to go to campus. Starting tonight, try to reduce the time spent watching movies. Why is that? Lately, you've been falling asleep in class, haven't you? And your grades have been declining. Besides, you'll start working on your thesis soon to graduate quickly. Honestly, I've lost my enthusiasm. This wasn't the major I chose from the beginning. So, as days go by, I feel more and more disgusted with college matters. But you've chosen this major. Whether you like it or not, you have to take it seriously. Actually, even without graduating, I would still work in my father's company, right? I don't need to apply for jobs elsewhere because my father will pull me in to replace his position. So, I don't need to show my diploma with good grades. But grades are a measure of whether you understand the material or not, and it also relates to the business knowledge you will need when you take over your father's position. You're too rigid, hubby. Do you know that to succeed in business, it's not entirely about the theories we learn in college? Many of those theories are not practiced and are not needed in the workplace. My father says that what's most needed in business isn't just theoretical knowledge, but in practice, it's our ability to negotiate and socialize, to build relationships with others. So, if we're going to be a leader in a company, the most important thing is the ability to negotiate when making decisions and the ability to maintain relationships. That's why many foolish people can become business leaders while smart people just become their employees. Because overly intelligent people think to systematically according to procedures and don't want to think out of the box. Being a business leader doesn't have to be extremely intelligent. As long as they have money, they'll pay smart people to handle their affairs. As long as they have money, they'll pay their trusted people. As long as they have money, the smarter employees below them will handle all the work. Okay, I understand your point. But right now, we're talking in the context of you still being a student. Don't you want to graduate with good results? With perfect results? No, I don't care about graduating with whatever results. Besides, this isn't the major I wanted. From the beginning, I wanted to study law. I'm just following my father's wishes. Jungkook just sighed softly while shaking his head at what his wife said. Honestly, he wanted to support his wife, but as a professor, he also wanted to see her excel academically, according to the major she's currently pursuing. Let's go to campus now. Finally, they prepared to leave the apartment. In the beginning, they agreed to hide their relationship, so they went to campus separately in their own cars. Once again, chaos erupted in the classroom, and once again, the cause was Hannah, the girl in power. Whatever misfortune had befallen the class, ever since Hannah moved to their class in their final year, her presence had always disrupted the class. There was no denying that Hannah was one of the most popular girls in school. She was beautiful, wealthy, and the smartest in class. However, she was shunned by her peers because of her arrogance and her pride in her perfection. She was, in essence, a bully who enjoyed oppressing the weak, as she was doing now, pulling the hair and slapping the faces of her classmates, who appeared poor in the class. Didn't I tell you to buy me juice, not plain mineral water like this? One of her classmates just scolded her, looked terrified, especially after Hannah managed to slap her cheek. Unfortunately, despite her only advantage, she was the most disciplined and the smartest student in class, so all the professors always praised her. In other words, Hannah had a very good image in the eyes of the professors, but a very bad one in the eyes of the students and her peers, that is, for those who knew her true nature. I'm getting sick of that girl. Why does she act so authoritative? She may be rich, but she's not the only wealthy person in the world. Yin observed all her classmates who dared not to confront Hannah, including her close friends Mina, Yuna, and Yuju. Yin stood up and was about to approach her, but her hand was immediately held back by Yuju. Yin, I don't want you to get hurt by her. I've had enough of her antics. This time, I'll hurt her. But the professors here will definitely take her side. I don't care. Yin approached Hannah, while her friends just sighed softly, watching her. What are you coming to me for, Yin? Can't you stop causing trouble in this class? I'm sick of seeing you bully people here. I'm not bullying. I'm just asking for help. Asking for help, you say? You boss people around, and if they refuse, you slap them and pull their hair as you please? Go away. Don't bother me. Hannah's voice started to rise, attracting the attention of the other students, many of whom started whispering. Do you know, before you moved to this class, before you were here, we were so peaceful and calm. But since you've been here, you've brought disaster. Why did you move? Because you were shunned by your classmates in the previous class, right? Go away. You have no right to judge me as you please. Hannah waved Yin away with one hand to drive her out, provoking Yin's emotions. However, Suddenly, Yin forcefully grabbed Hannah's hand and dragged her, while Hannah continued to resist. You dare to drive me away? I'm the one driving you away. Now, let's go outside. Hannah continued to struggle, even starting to hit Yin's hands, but Yin didn't care. She kept dragging Hannah roughly. Their classmates started to get shocked, not expecting Yin to do that to Hannah. But as they were about to reach the door and were about to go outside, suddenly the door opened and Jungkook appeared, getting ready to enter. His face looked shocked at what he saw. What's going on here? Why is there such a commotion? Hannah forcefully pushed Yin's hand away and immediately stood behind Jungkook's body as if seeking protection from him. Sir, she's trying to drag me out. She wants to kick me out of this room. Is that true? Yin, why would you do that? I'm fed up with her arbitrary behavior in this class. She acts like she's the queen here. I just asked for help from my friends. Is that wrong, sir? You saw it earlier. She was violent towards me. She even tried to kick me out of the room. She squeezed my hand so hard it hurt. Hannah then showed Jungkook her wrist, which was indeed red from Yin's actions. Ugh, how could a bully act like the victim? I'm not playing the victim, but this is the truth. You really hurt me physically. Enough. Now, I want to ask you, Yin, why did you drag her like that, trying to kick her out? Do you think that's the right thing to do? I'm just so tired of her behavior. Our class used to be safe, but ever since she joined, it's been a disaster. It's better if she's removed. Enough, Yin. Who taught you to speak so harshly like that? Do you think this is the right way to solve problems? Don't you know the danger of resorting to physical violence on campus? Feeling supported by Jungkook, Hannah looked even more pleased, still standing behind him as if seeking protection. Seeing this, Yin became even more irritated. Don't you believe me? I dragged her once, but you don't know what she's done to my friends. And now she's acting like a victim seeking refuge behind you? Huh? I'm not defending her, but what I just witnessed was you dragging her out. This time, Yin became even more infuriated. Finally, she confidently stepped towards Hannah and then, stop pretending, you witch. That's enough, Yin. Jungkook was truly shocked and surprised by what just happened. He didn't expect Yin to slap another student in front of him.